Young, and the Restless Spoilers. Welcome back to our channel, Y&R family. Today is a beautiful day, but the drama in Genoa City is anything but peaceful. We have so much to unpack from this explosive episode, so grab your favorite drink, settle in, and let's get right into the heart of the madness. I cannot believe they are doing this to Sharon again. I am literally typing this at 2 a.m. because my brain will not shut off after watching today's episode, and I am just so incredibly frustrated. I mean, are we actually serious right now? We finally get a nice, glamorous event in Genoa City, and it ends in absolute tragedy. I have been watching this show since 2015, and I swear the writers have some kind of personal vendetta against Sharon Newman. React first, explain later, right? But I just can't wrap my head around the fact that they are throwing another massive health crisis at her. Wait, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me take a breath and break down exactly what happened because my hands are literally shaking. So tonight was supposed to be Noah Newman's big night, the grand opening of the Shadow Room. And honestly, the set looked amazing. It really captured that dark, moody Las Vegas vibe. Noah has been through so much lately, especially with all the Matt Clark drama and almost getting blown up at that abandoned gas station. So he deserved a massive win. I was actually smiling watching him host the party. But of course, you could feel the tension in the room. Audra Charles was lurking in the corners, and we all know she has major emotional baggage tied to Noah and that whole Vegas aesthetic because of her past miscarriage. I know some people are loving Audra's villain era, but personally, I kind of feel bad for her when she's forced to confront her past like that. But anyway, the club opening was supposed to be a celebration. Instead, it became ground zero for a total nightmare. And then we have Nick Newman. Oh my God. Can we talk about Nick for a second? Because I am so done with him right now. Right in the middle of the event, Nick gets a call that Christian has a fever, and he just leaves. He bails. He packs up and goes home because the kid has a fever. I'm sorry, but what? You are telling me that a billionaire family doesn't have a nanny, or that Nikki, or literally anyone else, couldn't go check on a feverish child for an hour so Nick could support his son's grand opening and his deeply traumatized ex-wife. Nick literally just survived a fentanyl and cocaine overdose in Vegas. He drove a car off a cliff while hallucinating Matt Clark. He has been an absolute mess, and Sharon has been holding the pieces together. But the second she needs him to stand by her side at a stressful public event, he uses a basic childhood fever as an excuse to dip. Typical Nick. Remember when they tried this Nick the Reliable Dad angle a few years ago? Yeah, didn't work then either. He always abandons Sharon when the pressure gets too high. Okay, back to the point. Sharon, my poor, beautiful, resilient Sharon. You could see from the very first frame she was in that something was horribly wrong. She was running around trying to make sure the event went perfectly, but she was so stressed and busy that the world seemed to be spinning around her. And honestly, who can blame her? Let's look at what she is dealing with. Victor Newman, in his infinite, arrogant cruelty, has moved Matt Clark, the man who literally assaulted and tortured Sharon, onto the Newman Ranch. Victor wants Matt close to spy on Kane Ashby, completely ignoring the fact that Matt's presence is a living, breathing, psychological torture chamber for Sharon. I mean, how is she supposed to function knowing her abuser is sleeping a few acres away? So Sharon is at the club, trying to smile, trying to play the supportive mother, but the trauma and the stress are visibly eating her alive. She started holding her head, and you guys, Sharon Case's acting in this moment was phenomenal. You could feel her pain through the screen. She was rubbing her temples, her eyes were darting around, and she just looked so incredibly overwhelmed. And then the anger hit. She just snapped. She got so angry, yelling about how everything was moving too fast, how the pressure was too much. It wasn't even about the club anymore. It was about Matt, about Victor, about Nick leaving, about the sheer weight of her existence right now. It was like watching a dam break after years of holding back a flood, and then she collapsed. She just completely lost consciousness and fainted right there on the floor of the shadow room. I screamed at my television. I literally yelled out loud. The way she went down was so scary, and the immediate panic in the room was palpable. Noah rushing to his mother's side, the music stopping, the flashing lights suddenly feeling sinister instead of festive. It was a brilliantly directed scene, but it broke my heart into a million pieces. Why does she always have to suffer? Why can't Sharon just have a successful business and a happy family for like one consecutive year? Is that really too much to ask for a character who has been the backbone of this show for decades? So they rush her to the hospital, and suddenly the glamorous club opening is forgotten. The hospital waiting room scenes were agonizing. Everybody is pacing. Everybody is worried sick. The fluorescent lights, the beeping monitors in the background, it all just added to this suffocating feeling of dread. Nick finally shows up. Wow. Thanks for joining us. Nicholas. Glad the fever was manageable, and he has the audacity to look shocked. Like, buddy, you left her alone while she was vibrating with anxiety. What did you expect? I know I am being harsh on Nick, and maybe I am contradicting myself, because deep down I do love Schick and I want them to be in game, but he makes it so hard to root for him sometimes. He should have been protecting her from Victor's insane decisions, not leaving her alone at a nightclub. Then the doctor comes out. You know that classic soap opera moment where the doctor walks through the double doors with a clipboard and a grim expression? Yeah, my stomach dropped to the floor. The doctor says they have the final test results, and guys, it is not good. They made it perfectly clear that this isn't just exhaustion. This isn't just a panic attack or stress from the Matt Clark situation. The doctor said she has a very serious disease, and they left us on the most agonizing cliffhanger of the century. What disease does she have? I have been pacing my living room for the past hour just theorizing. Is it a brain tumor? I mean, she was holding her head and complaining about things moving too fast. That screams neurological issue. Or maybe it's an aneurysm waiting to burst because Victor has pushed her blood pressure to lethal levels with this Matt Clark stunt. Or, and I am praying to the soap gods that I am wrong about this, what if her cancer is back? Remember her breast cancer storyline? That was one of the most emotional arcs Y&R has ever done. If they are bringing back a cancer diagnosis, I don't know if my heart can take it. But the way the doctor looked at Nick and Noah, it was that look of pity. That look that says, your lives are about to change forever. I just don't understand the writer's obsession with torturing Sharon. Hasn't she paid her dues? She lost Cassie in one of the most tragic deaths in daytime television history. She battled bipolar disorder, which they actually handled really well for a while, but it was still a massive struggle. She survived breast cancer. She survived getting kidnapped and terrorized by Matt Clark and Cameron Kirsten. And basically, every other villain that rolls through Genoa City. And now this? A mysterious, potentially fatal disease? I am exhausted just listing her traumas. It feels like every time she builds a life for herself, the rug gets ripped right out from under her. And think about how this is going to impact everyone else. Noah just opened his club, and now his mother is fighting for her life. This is going to completely derail his career momentum. He was so proud of the Shadow Room, and now it's always going to be the place where his mother collapsed. And Nick is already teetering on the edge. He has been abusing fentanyl and cocaine to cope with his anger towards Matt Clark. If Sharon gets a terminal diagnosis, Nick is going to spiral completely out of control. He might actually kill Matt this time, or he might end up dead himself. The stakes have literally never been higher, and I am genuinely terrified for the entire Newman family right now. I know some people are probably excited for a meaty medical storyline because it gives the actors a chance to really show off their chops. And Sharon Case will absolutely win an Emmy for this if it's written well. But personally, I'm dreading it. I am so tired of seeing my favorite character in a hospital gown. I want to see her in power suits, running crimson lights, giving advice, and taking down her enemies. I want to see her march up to the Newman Ranch and slap Victor across the face for what he's done to her mental health by bringing Matt Clark back into her orbit. But no, we are heading into a dark, depressing medical crisis. And I just know the writers are going to drag this out for months. We are going to get the misdiagnoses, the experimental treatments, the tearful goodbyes, the whole 9 yards. I am strapping in for the emotional roller coaster, but I am not happy about it. Am I the only one who feels this way? Please tell me I'm not crazy for wanting just a little bit of peace for Sharon Newman. Let me know what you guys think the diagnosis is, because I am going to be obsessing over this until the next episode airs. I need to go drink some water and calm down. See you all in the comments.